the heart of the African wilderness, where survival is a daily battle, there exists a fate worse than death. It's not starvation. It's not injury. It's not even defeat in combat. It's something far more devastating. Exile, abandonment, being cast out and forgotten. This is the story of Scar. Not a king, not a pride member, not even a challenger. He's an outcast, a pariah, a lion without a family, without a territory, without a future. Watch him now, limping across the empty plains at dusk. His ribs show through matted fur. His mane is thin and patchy. Deep scars crisscross his face and shoulders, reminders of battles lost, of a life that went terribly wrong. Most documentaries show you the magnificent pride, the successful hunt, the mighty king. But tonight, we're telling a different story. The story of the forgotten ones, the rejects, the lions that society left behind. This is the brutal reality that nature doesn't advertise. This is the dark side of the animal kingdom. This is what happens when you don't fit in, when you're not strong enough, when luck runs out. Over the next 20 minutes, you'll witness Scar's desperate fight for survival in a world designed for groups, not individuals. You'll see the psychological toll of isolation, the impossible challenge of solo hunting, and the heartbreaking moments when he watches life he can never be part of.
Scar wasn't always alone. 2 years ago, he was part of a coalition. 3 brothers born in the same pride, expelled together at adolescence. Like all young males, they became nomads, wandering the savanna, learning to survive. For 18 months, they were inseparable. They hunted together, slept together, fought off hyenas together. Brotherhood was their strength. Together, they were formidable. Alone, they were vulnerable. Then came the injury. During a hunt for warthog, Scar misjudged his attack. The boar's tusk caught him across the left shoulder, tearing deep into muscle. It wasn't fatal, but it was crippling. For 3 weeks, he couldn't run properly, couldn't hunt, became a burden. In human society, we care for the injured. We wait for recovery. But lion coalitions operate on brutal logic. Weakness is contagious. An injured member slows the group, attracts predators, reduces hunting success. His brothers made a choice. They left him. Not dramatically, not with confrontation. They simply walked away one morning while he slept, still feverish from infection. When he woke, he was alone. He roared for them, a desperate, pleading sound that echoed unanswered across the plains. He tried to follow their scent, limping painfully behind. But they moved fast, and he was too slow. After 2 days, he lost the trail. After a week, he stopped looking. The rejection wasn't personal. It was survival. His brothers had their own battles to fight, their own hunger to satisfy. They couldn't afford sentiment. In the wild, compassion is a luxury only the strong can afford. But understanding why didn't make it hurt less. Social animals like lions aren't designed for solitude. Their brains evolved for group living, for cooperation, communication, shared experiences. Isolation isn't just physically dangerous. It's psychologically devastating. Studies of solitary lions show measurable stress responses, elevated cortisol levels, disrupted sleep patterns, even changes in behavior that resemble depression. They become listless, less alert, sometimes even self-destructive. Scar's wound eventually healed, leaving a thick scar across his shoulder.
the mark that would become his identity. But the deeper wound, the abandonment, the betrayal, the sudden loss of everything familiar, that wound never fully closed. Now, 6 months later,
Dawn breaks over the Serengeti. For pride lions, this is the end of the hunting night. Time to rest, bellies full from a successful wildebeest kill. But for Scar, dawn means another day begins. Another day of hunger. He hasn't eaten in 6 days. His last meal was a hare, barely 5 pounds of meat that disappeared in minutes. For an animal that needs 15 pounds of meat daily just to maintain body weight, that's starvation rations. Watch him now, crouched in tall grass, eyes fixed on a herd of impala 200 yards away. He's downwind. Good. The grass provides partial cover. Adequate. The impala are grazing. Relaxed. Perfect. Every factor is in his favor. Except one. He's alone. Lionesses hunt in coordinated groups. Some drive prey toward others, waiting in ambush. They communicate with glances, subtle body language, years of practiced teamwork. Their success rate is about 30%, 1 kill in every 3 attempts. Scar's success rate? Less than 10%. He begins his stalk. Each movement calculated, weight distributed carefully to avoid snapping grass. He's actually quite skilled. 2 years of nomadic life taught him well. Closer. 50 yards. 40. The impala haven't noticed. 30 yards. This is it. He gathers his muscles, every fiber tense, and charges. He's fast, reaching 35 miles per hour in seconds. But impala are faster, hitting 50 miles per hour instantly. Worse, there's no coordinated attack to cut off escape routes. The entire herd scatters in all directions. He targets the nearest female. She dodges left. He adjusts, closing the gap. 20 feet. 15. His heart pounds. This could be it. 10 feet. He lunges, claws extended. She leaps sideways at the last second. His claws catch nothing but air. He tumbles, momentum carrying him forward into a painful roll. By the time he regains his feet, the herd is 300 yards away and still running. He stands there, panting, ribs heaving. Dust settles around him. The savanna is quiet except for his labored breathing. Another failure. Another day without food. This is the reality of solo hunting for male lions. Their bodies are designed for power, not speed. Their manes make them visible from distance. They lack the coordination of group tactics. Even the most skilled male hunting alone succeeds maybe once in every 10 attempts. But Scar has no choice, so he tries again and again. Throughout the day, he attempts 5 more hunts. 3 impala, 1 zebra, 1 warthog. All failures. By evening, he's exhausted, starving, and desperate. As night falls, he hears sounds in the distance. Hyenas, their whooping calls signaling a kill. He moves toward the sound, following his nose. There, a hyena clan of 20, feeding on a wildebeest calf. Normally, a male lion would charge in, using size and intimidation to scatter the hyenas and claim the kill. But Scar is weak, alone, and outnumbered 20-1. If he attacks, they might fight back, and hyenas in large numbers can kill a lion. He waits. 2 hours, lying in the grass, watching them feed. Finally, bellies full, they begin to disperse. He waits longer. When only 3 remain, he makes his move. He charges, roaring. The startled hyenas flee, but only 50 yards away. They watch, cackling, as he tears into what's left of the carcass. Bones, mostly. Hunger is brutal. Injuries are painful. But there's something worse that Scar battles every single day. Something invisible, yet crushing. Something that can't be healed with food or rest. Loneliness. Look at him now, lying on a termite mound at dawn, watching. 2 miles away, a pride of 15 lions rests beneath acacia trees. He can see them clearly. Lionesses grooming each other, cubs playing, males lounging in the morning sun. He can hear their sounds, the rumbling contentment, the playful growls, the occasional roar establishing territory. He's been watching them for 3 days, not hunting them, not challenging them, just watching, like a ghost observing the living, like someone looking through a window at a party he's not invited to. Lions are profoundly social creatures. Their brains evolved over millions of years for group living. Physical contact, grooming, rubbing, sleeping in piles releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone. Social interaction regulates stress hormones. Communication provides mental stimulation. Remove all that, and you don't just have a lonely lion. You have an animal experiencing something close to psychological torture. Studies on isolated big cats show devastating effects. Their cortisol levels, the stress hormone, remain chronically elevated. They develop abnormal behaviors, pacing, repetitive movements, self-harm. Their immune systems weaken. They become prone to illness. Even their cognitive abilities decline.
Watch Scar's body language. See how he sits, not relaxed like pride lions, but tense, hyper-alert. His ears constantly swivel, scanning for threats from all directions. He never fully relaxes because he has no one to watch his back. Pride lions take turns being vigilant while others rest. Scar must be vigilant always. He sleeps only 12 hours a day, compared to the 20 hours typical of pride lions. Not because he doesn't need rest, but because sleeping is dangerous when you're alone. Predators, rival lions, even buffalo could attack while he's vulnerable. So he forces himself to stay alert, chronically sleep-deprived, exhausted. But perhaps worst is the silence. Lions are vocal animals. They purr, grunt, roar, moan, creating a constant soundscape of communication. Scar's world is silent, except for his own breathing. When he roars, and he does, instinctively, desperately, there's no answering call. Just empty echoes. 3 weeks ago, he encountered another solitary male. For a brief, desperate moment, Scar thought he'd found a companion. But the other male was territorial, aggressive, and well-fed. The confrontation was brief and brutal. Scar retreated with new wounds and renewed understanding. Even other outcasts are enemies. Sometimes he follows the pride at a distance, not close enough to be seen as a threat, but close enough to hear them, to smell them, to pretend for a moment.
Being alone doesn't just mean loneliness. It means vulnerability. And in the African wilderness, vulnerability equals death. It's midday, and Scar approaches a water hole, one of only 3 water sources in this 50-square-mile area. He needs to drink. He's dehydrated after 3 days without water. But water holes are dangerous. When he arrives, his worst fear is confirmed. 20 hyenas are already there, lounging in the shade after their morning kill. Normally, a pride of lions would walk right past them. The hyenas would yield to superior numbers. But Scar is alone. He pauses 100 yards away, calculating. He's desperately thirsty, but if he approaches, the hyenas might attack. They can smell weakness. They know he's solitary, injured, starving. He's not a threat. He's potential prey. For 20 minutes, he waits, hoping they'll leave. They don't. Finally, thirst overcomes caution. He approaches slowly, body language submissive, head low, ears back, avoiding eye contact. It's humiliating for an apex predator to show submission to scavengers, but it's necessary. He reaches the water's edge. The hyenas watch, tense. He drinks quickly, never taking his eyes off them. Then he hears it, the distinctive woo-woo call. More hyenas approaching. 5, 10, 15. The clan is
That night, he tries a different water hole.
This one is controlled by a territorial male coalition, two brothers in their prime. They're resting nearby. Scar knows the rules. If they see him as a challenger, they'll attack. If they're aggressive, they might attack anyway, just to eliminate a potential future threat. He waits until after midnight, when the brothers are sleeping. He creeps to the water, moving like a shadow, drinks quickly, and then a roar. One of the brothers has woken, spotted him. What happens next is terrifying. Both males charge. Scar runs, but he's exhausted, and they're fresh. They're faster. He can hear them behind him, getting closer. 20 yards, 15. He pushes harder, lungs burning. He reaches a rocky outcrop and scrambles up. The brothers can't follow. It's too steep. They roar their fury at the base, asserting dominance. Scar lies on the rocks above, trembling, heart pounding. He's safe for now, but he's trapped. If he comes down, they'll kill him. He waits on that rock for 6 hours until the brothers finally lose interest and leave. Only then does he dare descend. This is the reality of being an outcast. Everything is dangerous. Every basic need, water, food, rest, becomes a life-threatening challenge. Pride lions live in relative safety, protected by numbers. Scar lives in constant danger. 2 weeks ago, he encountered a buffalo herd. Normally, he'd avoid them. Buffalo kill more predators than any other animal. But he was starving, desperate. He tried to target a calf that had wandered from the herd. The mother attacked. Then the entire herd, 50 buffalo, 2 tons.
Sometimes, when the hunger isn't too demanding and the danger momentarily distant, Scar's mind wanders to the past, to before. He returns to places, not consciously perhaps, but his paws carry him there anyway. That kopje, that rocky outcrop where he and his brothers used to rest after their first successful hunts. That dry riverbed where they played as juveniles, practicing the pounces and tackles they'd need as adults. He stands there now, alone, and the memories flood back. He remembers being young, remembers the warmth of sleeping in a pile with his brothers, their combined body heat creating a cocoon of safety. Remembers the grooming sessions, his brother meticulously cleaning his mane while he dozed, half asleep and completely content. He remembers their first wildebeest kill, how they coordinated without planning, moving as one organism. The exhilaration of success, the bonding over shared meat, the pride in each other's eyes. He remembers laughter. Yes, lions have something like laughter. The rumbling, playful sounds they make during games. The joy of chasing his brother through tall grass, of wrestling until both were exhausted and happy. Where are they now, his brothers? He doesn't know. Probably they succeeded where he failed. Probably they found a pride, took territory, fathered cubs. Probably they've forgotten him entirely. Do they ever think of him? Do they wonder what happened to the third brother, the one who got injured and became inconvenient? Does guilt ever touch their minds during quiet moments? Probably not. Lions don't dwell on the past. They can't afford to. Survival is a present tense game. But Scar is different. His isolation has given him time. He'll never know. He can't approach, can't reintegrate. That door closed the day he was expelled at adolescence. In lion society, there's no going back. So he watches from afar, watches his cousin's cubs playing the same games he once played, watches the pride continuing without him, as if he never existed, as if those early years, the nursing, the protection, the lessons, meant nothing. The cruelest part is this. He can remember being happy. He can remember what it felt like to belong, to be part of something larger than himself. And that memory makes the present loneliness even more unbearable. They say you can't miss what you never had, but Scar had it. For 2 years he had brotherhood, companionship, purpose.
and then it was taken away. Not by an enemy, not by fate, but by bad luck and the ruthless mathematics of survival. At night, he sometimes makes those contact calls. Soft,
6 months into his solitary existence, something unexpected happens. Not redemption, this isn't that kind of story, but adaptation. Scar is learning. The rains have arrived, transforming the parched savanna into a sea of green. With the rains comes the Great Migration. 2 million wildebeest and zebra flooding across the plains. For the first time in months, prey is everywhere. Even a poor hunter can find opportunities when the landscape is teeming with life. Scar manages to bring down a young wildebeest, his first substantial meal in 3 weeks. 40 pounds of meat. He eats until his belly distends, then sleeps for 16 hours straight. His body begins to recover. The ribs don't show quite so starkly. The wounds heal cleaner. His movements regain some of their form.
One evening, from a distant ridge, he watches a pride. Not his birth pride. That's long gone from his range. This is a different group. 2 aging males, 8 lionesses, a dozen cubs. The males are old, their manes graying, their movements stiff. For a moment, just a moment, something stirs in Scar. A possibility. In another year, maybe 2, those old males will fall. A new coalition will take over. And if Scar can survive that long, if he can build enough strength, perhaps. But the moment passes. Reality reasserts itself. Even if those males fall, stronger coalitions will challenge for that pride. Brothers fighting together, coordinated and experienced. Scar is alone. He's always been alone. And in the world of lions, alone means second best. Second best means nothing. He turns away from the pride and walks back into the darkness, back to his solitary existence, back to the only life he knows now. Is this hope? Or is it just survival wearing hope's mask? Perhaps it doesn't matter. Perhaps the distinction between surviving and living is something only humans care about. Perhaps, for Scar, simply seeing another sunrise is enough. The rains will end. The migration will pass. Hunger will return. Danger will never leave. But tonight, with a full belly and the stars overhead, Scar rests. Tomorrow is uncertain. But tonight, he's still here.
Scar's story is one lion's struggle, but it's also a mirror reflecting a much larger crisis, one that threatens the entire species. A century ago, over 200,000 lions roamed across Africa, the Middle East, India, and even parts of southern Europe. Their roar echoed from the Mediterranean to the Cape of Good Hope. They were the ultimate symbol of wild Africa, abundant, powerful, seemingly eternal. Today, fewer than 20,000 remain. We've lost 90% of the world's lions in just 100 years, a single human lifetime. If you're over 50, more lions have disappeared during your life than exist in the wild today. Think about that. Let it sink in. And the decline is accelerating. At current rates, wild lions could functionally disappear from most of Africa within our children's lifetimes. Not in some distant future, in 30 to 50 years. That's how close we are to losing them forever. The threats are everywhere, and they're all connected to one species, us. Habitat loss is the primary killer. As human populations explode across Africa, lion territory shrinks. Farms replace grasslands. Cities consume wilderness. The vast, unbroken landscapes lions need to survive are fragmenting into isolated pockets, islands of wild in a sea of humanity. Human-wildlife conflict takes a brutal toll. When lions kill livestock, and they do because cattle are easier to hunt than wild prey, farmers retaliate. Poisoned carcasses, trophy hunting, retaliatory killings. In some areas, traditional rites of passage still involve young men killing lions to prove their manhood.
Poaching has surged in recent years, driven by demand for lion bones in traditional Asian medicine. A complete lion skeleton can fetch thousands of dollars on the black market. Rangers find carcasses with bones removed, bodies left to rot, magnificent predators reduced to commodities. Climate change multiplies every other threat. Droughts last longer, prey populations decline, water sources dry up permanently. The migration patterns that sustained lion populations for millennia are disrupting. The ecological balance is breaking. But here's the truth that conservation organizations struggle to communicate. Saving lions isn't just about protecting a charismatic species. Lions are a keystone. Remove them, and entire ecosystems collapse. Without apex predators, herbivore populations explode, overgrazing destroys vegetation, soil erodes, water sources degrade. The land itself begins to die. When we save lions, we save everything. The grasslands, the prey species, the scavengers, the plants, the insects, the birds. We save the hyenas and wild dogs that compete with lions. We save the leopards and cheetahs that lions sometimes kill. We save the intricate web of life that took millions of years to weave. And we save something else, something harder to quantify, but equally important. We save the wild places where humans aren't the dominant force. We save the humility of standing in a landscape where organizations like the Lion Recovery Fund, Panthera, and African Wildlife Foundation are making measurable progress. GPS collar technology helps track and protect individuals. Genetic studies guide breeding programs. Compensation schemes reimburse farmers for livestock losses. Education programs teach coexistence. Some lion populations are actually increasing in well-protected areas. Success stories exist, but they require something from all of us, caring enough to act. You don't have to move to Africa or become a conservationist, but you can support organizations doing the work. You can make sustainable consumer choices. You can educate others. You can vote for policies that protect wild spaces. You can ensure the next generation understands that these creatures are worth saving. Because ultimately, the question isn't whether we can save lions. We can. The science is clear, the methods are proven, the resources exist. The question is, will we? Will we choose to share this planet with creatures that challenge us, inspire us, humble us? Or will we let them fade into extinction, becoming nothing more than symbols on flags?
The sun sets once more over the African savanna. The sky bleeds orange and purple, and the temperature begins its nightly plunge. Somewhere in the vast emptiness, Scar prepares for another night of survival. We followed his story for 20 minutes, a fraction of his life, a tiny window into 3 years of struggle. But his story isn't over. It doesn't have an ending yet. And when it does end, no one will be there to witness it. Most likely, Scar will die alone. Perhaps from starvation during a long dry season when prey moves beyond his hunting grounds. Perhaps from infection after a wound that won't heal without rest he can't afford. Perhaps from a younger, stronger coalition that sees him as a threat or simply an easy kill. Perhaps he'll simply grow too old, too slow, too tired to continue the fight. There will be no funeral, no mourning. His bones will bleach white under the African sun, scattered by scavengers, absorbed back into the soil from which all life springs. In a year, there will be no trace he ever existed. Except this. Somewhere in his DNA, in the genetic memory written into his cells, is the story of 2 million years of lions, of ancestors who survived ice ages and droughts, migrations and upheavals, of a lineage unbroken since the Pleistocene. Scar carries that legacy, even if he'll never pass it on.
Yet Scar persists. Not out of hope. Hope requires imagination of a better future, and lions don't think that way. Not out of defiance or courage. Those are human concepts projected onto animal behavior. Scar persists simply because stopping means dying.
and every living thing resists its own extinction with every fiber of its being. This is the truth behind the roar, the truth that nature documentaries often shy away from. Life isn't fair. Nature doesn't care about individuals. There's no cosmic justice ensuring the worthy survive or the good prosper. There's only struggle and chance, adaptation and luck, the relentless mathematics of survival. Some lions are born into stable prides with experienced mothers and protective males. Others are born during droughts or conflicts. Some grow strong and become kings. Others are injured young and cast out. The difference between triumph and tragedy is often nothing more than timing and chance. But here's what else is true. Every sunrise Scar sees is a victory. Every meal is a triumph. Every night survived is a testament to resilience that our comfortable human lives can barely comprehend. Scar may not be a king, but he's a survivor. And in the unforgiving calculus of wild Africa, that might be the greater achievement. As darkness falls, Scar rises. He's thirsty, hasn't drunk in 2 days. There's a waterhole 3 miles north, but it's risky. A territorial coalition uses it. But thirst doesn't negotiate. He begins to walk, limping slightly on that old injury that never quite healed right.
We'll leave him here, moving through the night, one more shadow among many. His story continues beyond our camera's reach, beyond our narrative's end. He'll hunt. He'll fail more than he succeeds. He'll watch other lions from a distance, forever on the outside looking in. He'll survive, or he won't. And the savanna will continue its ancient rhythms, indifferent to individuals, eternal in its cycles. The sun will rise and set. The rains will come and go. Life will feed on death, and death will nourish life. The circle continues, even when individual stories end incomplete. Scar doesn't know he's teaching us something important. He doesn't know his struggle matters to anyone but himself. He doesn't know that by simply continuing to exist against impossible odds, he's demonstrating a truth about life itself. It doesn't have to be fair to be worth fighting for. The outcast walks into the night, alone, hungry, scarred, but still moving, still breathing, still here. And sometimes being here is enough.